Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our virtual information session for FIU's 100% online Master of Public Health program. If you're here today, it's probably because you're thinking about what is next in your career. And we hope that with today's session, we are able to share information with you about our program, answer some of your questions, and help you figure out if this is the next best step for you and your career goals. My name is Carla Maria. I am part of the FIU Online team at the university. I've been with the FIU Online team for over 10 years now. And in my role, I work with professionals just like yourselves, trying to figure out which of FIU's online programs is a match based on your career goals. And I have a team of people here that I want you to meet because if you decide to join this program, you will be working very closely with each of these persons. The first person I want you to meet is Dr. Yasenka Peterson, Director of Online Master of Public Health and Director of Educational Programs and Workforce Development. Dr. Peterson, would you give a warm hello to our future students and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Like Carla said, I'm Yasenka Peterson. I'm the director of the online MPH program. I also serve as the advisor for all the students in the program, making sure that students stay on the right track, whatever that is for you. So I'll be delighted to answer any question during the meeting. You can put in a chat after the meeting, and we also put up our contact information. So if after the meeting you want to set up a time or you have questions via email, I'm delighted to answer any questions you have. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. And we also have with us Dr. Susie Gomez, Assistant Dean for the Office of Student and Alumni Affairs at our Robert Stemple College of Public Health and Social Work. Dr. Gomez, would you also give a warm hello to our future students and introduce yourself?
Of course. Thank you so much, Carla. Welcome to you all. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're evening or morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you giving us the time to share a little bit about our program. As Carla mentioned, I'm the Assistant Dean for the Robert Stemple College of Public Health and Social Work. I support all of our programs, but work very closely in particular with Dr. Peterson and the online team in making sure that our students are successful, both in the onboarding process, the application process, onboarding process, and throughout their careers here and even in the future. And we'll share a little bit more about the program as we go along. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. And we also have with us Cindy Perez, Assistant Teaching Professor for the program. Professor Perez, would you also say hello to our future Panthers and also introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Cindy Perez. I'm an assistant teaching professor and practicum coordinator for the online MPH. Happy to have you here. If you have any questions, I'm very, very glad to answer them. And I will also be working closely with all of you if you join the program with your practicum experience. So walking you through that journey from being a student now getting into that professional career outlook.
Thank you, Professor Perez. And we also have with us Dr. Christy Navarro, Assistant Teaching Professor for the program. Dr. Navarro, would you also say hello to our future students and introduce yourself?
Happy to. Hi, everyone. Welcome to FIU. My name is Christy Navarro, like they said. I am a Double Panther alumni. I did my undergrad at FIU, and I also did my doctoral work at FIU. So I'm so happy to be back in a teaching role and happy to be able to work with the online MPH program. Currently, I teach some of the core courses as well as the Integrative Learning Seminar, which is the capstone course, your very last course that you're going to take. So I look forward to seeing you in some of my classes in the very near future. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Navarro. And there's a few folks that aren't able to join us today, but we still want you to get to know their faces because, again, if you do decide to join the program, you will be working very closely with each of these persons. And the first person that I want you to keep in mind is Jose Candelaria, manager and recruiter of admissions operations for the Robert Stemple College of Public Health and Social Work. And then there's also Irene Abad, manager of academic support and student success. And Irene is a key contact. Irene Abad is a key contact in scholarships. So you'll be working closely with her as you start finding out about scholarship opportunities at the college. And then also there's Irene Vega, program manager, and you'll be working with Irene throughout your student experience from the very early stages of you just right now trying to figure out if this is the program for you and all throughout your program course completion. So we have a full team of people just ready to help guide you on this master's degree adventure. And we said a little bit about ourselves today. However, we'd really love to learn about you. And we'd love to learn what is motivating you to pursue your master's degree in public health. There's some of the reasons that I've heard in the past as to why current and past students decide to join the program, but we'd love to hear from you. So please share in the chat what's your motivation for wanting to pursue this particular degree? And in the meantime, while you're sharing your answers in the chat, I am going to ask our group that is here from our Robert Stemple College of Public Health and Social Work, let's start off with Dr. Peterson. Dr. Peterson, what are some of the reasons you have heard from students as to why they end up joining the program?
Absolutely. You've identified most of them right there. For usually people come into the program and just love working in their communities. They love working, giving back. They want to make a difference. They really like working with people. Not everybody. Some people are behind the scene, which is also an opportunity. There's also opportunity there, but usually there is a passion for helping others. That is the main reason that, that has to be there, because that's whatever we do in whatever area you end up, it is about making change happen for the better for the people that you work with.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. And I guess I'm seeing those answers come in and they're all very inspiring. Would any of the other professors on the call like to share anything as far as like reasons that you've heard from students as to why they end up joining the program?
I can definitely jump in here. I think one of at least when I did my MPH also at FIU, one of my motivations was having that passion to make an impact in your community. So if you have that, if you want to make a difference, definitely this is the place where you can start.
Thank you. And thank you each of you for sharing your answers in the chat. I'm just going to shout some of them out loud because this really is, we've got a diverse set of reasons as to why each of you is joining the program, but then they're also just very inspirational, kind of like echoing what Dr. Peterson shared. There's a lot of helping people and working with people. There's a lot of community and being a positive impact on the community, growth in health equity, and being able to work in health policy, giving back to the community. I mean, these reasons are just great, adding to your leadership skills. So thank you each for sharing. These are phenomenal reasons why to pursue your Master of Public Health. And I think you're in the right place. So let's get started. Let's talk about FIU, because if you join this program, you will be joining the Robert Stemple College of Public Health and Social Work, but you'll also be joining our university. Florida International University is the public research university in South Florida. We are part of the Florida State University system, and we offer bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs in many different fields, of course, including public health. And some of our biggest pride points are that we are one of the largest public universities in the country based on our enrollment class size. So currently we have about 50,000 students enrolled across all of our online and on-campus courses and programs. And we've graduated over 316 alumni from all around the world who have decided to pursue their degree at FIU. And we're also the #1 university in the country to award bachelor's and master's degrees to Hispanic students. And from the very moment that FIU was created, we have really catered to students with different needs. Many of our students work full time, they have other responsibilities. So it's been very important for us as an institution that our programs are flexible enough so that you can actually complete your degree. And we've created FIU Online at the university really to allow you to do that. And our mission is to connect our FIU students and lifelong learners to the best online quality education you can have. And that's independent of when's the best time for you to connect or independent of where you are located. And we've been providing online education now for over 25 years. And today we offer our students over 120 options to complete degrees through our university. Now let's talk about the Robert Stemple College of Public Health and Social Work. I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Gomez. Dr. Gomez, talk to our future Panthers why this college is so phenomenal.
Thank you, Carla. So our college, we of course have 4 pillars. So we have, of course, public health and social work. They are in our name. We also have dietetics and nutrition, and we have disaster management. So all of our programs prepare our students to work towards the greater good. So many of you mentioned in your reasons for wanting to pursue this degree that you want to impact your community, you want to make your community better. And that is exactly what our college strives to prepare our students for. Now, we are one of the smaller colleges at the university, and that is a great thing because you do have your dedicated faculty, your dedicated staff members who are really working with you very closely to make your academic journey here at FIU, here at Stemple College, a success. So one of the reasons why students choose us, you do have a dedicated program advisor and a program director in Dr. Peterson. There's so many great things about Stemple College. So we are very highly ranked, not just in terms of public health, but really in all of our programs. And this degree in particular, our online master's program, is number 11 in the nation. And our college overall does have very high research funding as well. So you are learning from faculty who are pretty much at the top of their game in terms of research. So you are really getting all of this information really just really at the cutting edge. So it's really important that you have that opportunity. You have faculty with a very broad range of experience in all sorts of areas of public health. And that's the beauty of this degree. It is an online generalist degree, which I know Dr. Peterson will talk a little bit more about, but you will really get to learn about the breadth of public health. So there's really a lot of great opportunities for you to learn that way. You'll learn a little bit more about practicum, which Professor Perez and Dr. Navarro mentioned. You will be placed in a practicum, well, not placed, but we'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go. You'll have a practicum opportunity where you'll have the opportunity to actually go out there and do some work in the community. So that is really a great opportunity that you'll have as part of this program. And again, this commitment to the community is something that is very near and dear to our hearts. And we want to make sure that our students are all prepared to go out there and impact their communities for the good.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. And now let's talk about the degree itself, the Master of Public Health. Dr. Peterson, would you be able to share with us, what this degree is about and why it's so special?
Absolutely. Before we get into the courses that make up the degree, let me just tell you a little bit quick facts here. The degree, it's flexible. How many courses you take depends on what works for you. You decide. You can complete it in as little as 12 months, 3 semesters. That's heavy. That's 15 credits, 15 credits, 15 credits. And I always tell people, just remember at grad school here at FIU, 9 credits is considered full-time. We have people who are, they're going to medical school, they're in gap years. Some people are just dedicated. They want to get in, get out. They have the time because that's a full-time job. But you can do it in as little as 12 months. You can take up to, per FIU, up to 6 years. nobody has taken that long yet, then hope, we don't encourage one way or the other. What I always tell people when I meet with them is that really you have to do what works for you. And it sounds really a little corny that if you're successful, we are, but literally it is the truth. When our students are successful, that is when our college shines. That's how they measure our success. So it's really working with you for you to decide, how much time do you have and you're willing to dedicate to the program. So I work very close. I advise all the students. So we just create a plan that we can adapt. So it is up to you. That is one of the biggest positive characters of the program. The program is, like I said, flexible, but the courses are flexible too, in the sense that are asynchronous. What that means is there is no schedule time. So this is not a distant, you zoom in the evening program. It really is that the courses are developed, they're in Canvas, and you log in, you do most of the work on your own time. That doesn't mean you don't have a faculty. This is not a mail order where, for those who remember that degree. Really, you have our faculty, our regular faculty, our regular adjuncts. You have assigned, just like face-to-face, you have assigned faculty for the courses, but there is no scheduled lecture time. All our faculty have office hours and they meet by appointment because, all our students have different schedules. But really it is what students like is that if they're working during the day, if they have family commitments, whatever commitments they have, they can log in at 12 o'clock at night. We do have exams, there's due, usually within 3 days or a week or take home, but it is asynchronous, which works. Our tuition is very reasonable. Our tuition for this program, it's a self-supported program, is $600 per credit. And we like to make sure that if we do have Florida State employees, sadly enough, the program does not take the state waiver. So we apologize for that, but just making sure that we do, we tell people all our other programs on campus do, but this one doesn't. You apply if we accept students fall and spring, and the next admission cycle is in the fall, and the application deadline is June 1st. Next slide, please. Now I want to tell you a little bit about our program, our mission. So the Online MPA Generalist Program we prepare students to become successful, well-rounded public health practitioners who possess the knowledge and skills necessary to work in multidisciplinary public health settings. You'll be able to work in diverse community. Many of you have that in your chat. Communicate health information effectively, which we think that every single public health person should have. It's great to have all this knowledge, but if you can't communicate it, doesn't do any good. And you're going to be working with other health professionals in the field to advance the public health. So really what we try to do through our curriculum is really prepare you to be able to go in the communities. And the communities, by the way, is defined however you define it. A group of people that you're going to be working with. So at Temple College, the program there's only one MPH at Temple College for our accrediting body, CEIF. There's only one MPH, so that's why you hear us talk about concentrations. Our concentrations is the generalist. The degree doesn't say online. It's an MPH that you had at FIU. All our students have to take the first 5 courses where you see public health core courses where we talk about public health. First course is a public health epidemiology. We look at health policy, environmental health sciences, statistics, and health behavior. So no matter what concentration you are in here at Temple College, you have to take those 5 courses. And those courses really address the competencies, the knowledge and skills that the accrediting body requires of any MPH student, no matter where you go. So those are our fundamentals, our base for the whole program, the first courses you would take. For the online MPH program, you have an additional course in data management, where we really is after you have the intro to statistics. We're not making you statisticians, so people who have anxiety about statistics, it really is, we prepare you to understand the basic, know the numbers, be able to read the science, which is very important, understand it. And the data management is where we actually use, hopefully you never have to analyze data by hand, but use the software to analyze the data. So you need to know what the data is and which statistical analysis to use. The other course that is required for this concentration is health demography, really understanding the numbers in your community, the death, the birth rate, how people move around, and how it affects your community. Dr. Navarro teaches the next course, health promotion planning and research. No matter where you are, one of the bases, how do you go about planning a successful program? What are the basic steps? So in this program, you have a whole course where she guides you through all the steps in planning, deciding what the issue is, how to approach it, who your community is, and planning successful program. Like we said, part of our mission is also many people who come in here would want to move to some leadership, move ahead, go to some leadership position. So we have a course that's public health management and leadership, wherever, if you're in a hospital, public health department, nonprofit or profit agencies, this provides you with a basic background about how to lead an organization. And last, again, health communication for us is that a base of everything we do. So understanding the data, understanding the disease transmissions, when we went through COVID, how do we communicate effectively? We want to prepare you to how do you communicate effectively with your population so that you get the changes that you want. So those are courses that are specific. Those 5 courses are specific to the online program. Then we have some elective courses. We don't have that many elective courses. We have health promotion and culturally diverse community. You have to select 3: environmental disasters, AIDS, EPI, occupational health and safety. Dr. Navarro is teaching this summer, mental health course, in the social determinants of mental health. So we're trying to come up with different courses that people can select, and occasionally we have others in EPI that we offer. So on those, you need 3 electives. And then for the practicum and culminating experience, so MPH, again, any accredited program. MPH by definition is a practice degree. So there is no thesis, there is no research. It is really preparing you to work in communities, preparing you to practice. So instead, think about the practicum, the field experience, your internship. Think about that as that is where you put all the information that you gathered throughout the program, you gain throughout the program. You have to put them in practice. So you work with Cindy to develop a plan to select the site. She will guide you to how to do that, where you have to apply the knowledge that you've gained throughout the program. So you're demonstrating what you've learned. And so you have Cindy Perez, who's going to work with you. And then Dr. Navarro teaches our integrative seminar, also a requirement for SEEF, where you have to put some of the competencies together and do some writing. So it's 45 hours, 15 courses that the students have to take in the program. Next.
Thank you,
Carla.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Peterson. I think that was a great overview, and I hope that for those of you considering this program, I hope that that overview really shed light into the degree and what you'll be learning in the degree as a student and being able to apply in your different fields of work. And we also want to share with you that if you decide to join the program, you're also able to apply for a limited number of scholarships for students who are beginning in the fall of 2025. So the students who are beginning in August. And these scholarships are not guaranteed to every single student, but they are still a phenomenal resource and benefit that you may be able to use. And the first scholarship that we want to share is our FIU Online Corporate and Community Scholarship. It's a $2,000 award, and it's awarded to a select number of employees or members of organizations making an impact in communities and in industries. I dare to say that if you're here today, you probably already are involved in some sort of organization, whether it's through your employer or whether it's through some sort of community agency that you may work with, that you are being able to be of a part in helping a community or in helping a particular industry. So this is one scholarship that we encourage you to apply for. And then we also have our FIU Online Academic Merit Scholarship. This is also a $2,000 award, and it's awarded to a select number of students with the highest GPA from your last upper division coursework or your last 60 credits from your undergraduate. And this is a very competitive scholarship. However, if you have a very high GPA, we encourage you to apply to this scholarship. And then we also have our FIU Online Get Started Scholarship. It's a $1,000 award, and it's really meant to be awarded to a select number of students who are facing a hardship. So if you're facing some sort of hardship, whether it be financial or something else, we would like it if you apply to this scholarship. Now, these scholarships, they are one-time awards. And again, as I mentioned earlier, they're not guaranteed to every single student, but we still encourage you to apply. And the process to apply is to first apply into the program. And then once you apply into the program, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit as far as like how do you actually apply to the program. But once you apply to the program, you'll be getting a student ID. And with that student ID, you are able to log into this website that is at the bottom of your screen, which is fiu.academicworks.com. That is FIU's scholarship portal. You are able to find these 3 scholarships on there, but then you're also able to find many other scholarships. And I just encourage you to sit down and review that website because there may be even more scholarships that you may be eligible for. And another thing I want to talk about these scholarships is that because these scholarships are not guaranteed to every single student, sometimes students coming into the program are discouraged to apply. But I just want to share that over the past 3 years, we have awarded over $200,000 in scholarships to over 100 students. So that's a lot of benefit and a lot of aid that's out there for you. So again, just keep that in mind, and these are resources for you. And with the program, you're also able to apply for the federal financial aid, and you can do that through the studentaid.gov website, or there's also a mobile app. So whichever one's easiest for you. The mobile app is My Student Aid mobile app. This is what some of you may know as FAFSA, or Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And you will need FIU's federal school code, which is 009635. This is all on our website as well if you ever need it. And just keep in mind that when you are applying for the federal financial aid for the FAFSA, you will be needing your tax returns from 2 years ago. So for example, if you're applying for the FAFSA for the 2025 to 2026 FAFSA, which is the one that you would apply for if you're beginning the MPH program in August, you would need your 2023 tax return. So just keep that in mind. And there's even more funding opportunities for you. I want to hand it over to Dr. Gomez. Dr. Gomez, would you be able to share with our future students some of the funding opportunities available through the Stemple College?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Carla. So in addition to these to the online to the FIU online scholarships, we do have our own scholarships at Stemple College. We do have a pretty lengthy, pretty long website where we describe a lot of different opportunities for students who are interested in pursuing their degrees. So we do have a particular set of Stemple College scholarships. One of those is our Stemple College Research Scholarship that is available to MPH students. We also have the Stemple College Travel Award. So if, for example, if you are presenting at a conference, you can actually apply for the Stemple College Travel Scholarship, and use those funds to cover your conference travel. So we do have several different opportunities that are specific to Stemple College students. But we also list a lot of external scholarships. So we list academic works, like Carla mentioned, as a great resource for students overall. But we also list some external programs, maybe through professional associations. We list some that are specifically for public health students. We list some that are specific to online students. So I definitely encourage you to take a look at our funding page on our website. And then, as Carla mentioned earlier, we have Miss Irina Abad. She is our manager of academic and student success here at the college. So she is a great contact. So if you do have any questions after reviewing the different opportunities that are available, you're welcome to reach out to her, and her contact information is here at the bottom of this page. So definitely, if you have any questions, once you do review that information, please feel free to reach out to us. And in addition to that, I'm also going to put our funding page in the chat. So if you want to take a look at some of those additional opportunities, you can definitely take a look at those as well.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. Now let's talk about admissions and application. We've spoken lots about the program. However, let's talk about how we can get you, that you're considering this degree, how we can actually get you into the program.
Wonderful. So there are two very important pieces to your application. So the SOFA system houses public health applications for most public health programs in the country. So you are going to complete your application on the SOFA system at sophus.org. And very, very important right now, as Dr. Peterson mentioned earlier, we are accepting applications for fall 2025. So the deadline for that is June 1st. So you need to make sure that you complete your application in SOFUS by June 1st. In addition to that, one of the components of your application is to complete the FIU supplemental application. That information is in SOFUS, so you can always refer back to that. And then, of course, there are several supplemental documents that are really important to consider you for admission. You definitely need official transcripts from any previously attended university, and those are sent directly to SOFUS. They gather your application, so really important that you send those directly to SOFUS, official transcripts. If you attended a university outside of the United States, you also have to have a course-by-course WES evaluation done, and that is also sent directly to SOFUS. In addition to that, we want to see a resume. We want to see a statement of purpose. A lot of the time, students don't pay much attention to the statement of purpose. It is really important that you pay very close attention to that statement of purpose, because that is when you're telling the admissions committee why you want to pursue this program, why it's a good match for you, why it's going to help you reach these intended goals that you have. So really, really important that you take some time with that. You'll also need 3 recommendation letters. It's also done through SOFUS. You register your references in the application system, and they can submit their references that way. If English is not your native language, or if you're coming from a country where English is not the language of instruction or the official language, you will also need proof of English proficiency. FIU accepts TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo at the moment. And depending on where your diploma is from, you may need a copy of your certificate as well. Now, in terms of actual admissions requirements, we really require a bachelor's degree or the equivalent from, of course, an accredited institution. We are looking for a 3.0 GPA, and that is calculated in what's called the UG 60. So it's the last 60 credits of your upper division coursework. So sometimes students have a 2.9 and they're not quite there. But if you look at the last 60 credits of their coursework, they are well above that. So don't let that get you discouraged if you're not quite at the 3.0. You're always welcome to reach out to us, and we can answer any questions that you might have.
Dr.
So I
Gomez,
talked
may
a little
I
bit
add
about
that?
WES.
Can
Sorry,
I just
Dr.
jump
Peters?
in?
Of
This
course.
is where, if you're not even quite at a 3.0, and I say quite because we don't want to accept people and set you up for failure. So you have to be close. But this is where your written statement of purpose really helps, for us to make sure that we're the proper, we're the adequate school. And things happens during life. This is a place where you can explain what happened too. But really, we look at everything holistically, your references, your statement of purpose, and of course your GPA. But I just wanted to thank you. I just wanted to throw that in, that the statement of purpose and the GPA, especially when you're not there, really go hand in hand to make your case. Thank you.
Thank you. And in my office, I do also have one of my colleagues, Ms. Fiorella Suyon, who manages the SOFA system. So if you do get stuck, please feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to help you along with that process to make sure that your application gets to the admissions committee and it is reviewed, and hopefully you're accepted to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez, and thank you, Dr. Peterson. Now, we would love to open it up to really the next steps, which is for you to share any questions that you may have today. And then also, if you think you are ready to apply, you are able to also do that. And again, as Dr. Gomez mentioned, we're here to help you throughout that application process. However, if you do have questions now, and I know many of you have already shared questions in the chat, and we've been answering them throughout. However, if you have additional questions, this is what this time and space is for. You're able to either share your question in the chat, or if you can also turn on your microphone or your camera, and we would love to connect with you either via video or audio. So let's see what questions come in.
We had a question: how long does it usually take for the committee to review application? The committee reviews it as the applications come in. It's not towards the end. So usually after an application is complete, probably about 2 to 3 weeks turnaround time for the committee to review it.
We've got another question. If native language is other than English, but we have a bachelor's degree from the USA, do we still need the English proficiency test? This is a great question.
That is a very good question. So usually having a bachelor's degree from the United States will exempt you from that requirement. Again, if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to us about the specifics, but usually that is something that will exempt you from the English proficiency exam.
Then
There
we
is
have another question. Yeah, are we able to take any classes in person?
No, that is one of the things that are not so great. So if you are in the online program, because it's a self-supported program, you can only take the courses that we offered online. So you can enroll in the online program and take courses on campus. But really, if you have the flexibility to come on campus and that's your preference, we have the on-campus concentrations programs do offer many courses online. So I would strongly suggest, many people learn differently. If that is what your preferred method is, please let me, more than help, you can contact me, you can contact Dr. Gomez. We can put you in touch with, whichever concentration you're interested in exploring. So.
And I also want to add that if you do think online is the route for you, you're still able to come to our campus if you're within proximity. So that's also another option for you, depending on what your preferences are.
Yes, you're a regular Panther. Let me make sure. Thank you for bringing that up, Carla. You're a regular Panther. Just because you're online, it's not second grade. You have all the facilities, the library, but you cannot take on-campus courses. But if you haven't been here, it's a beautiful campus. You can use library, computer, all the resources that are available. You are a Panther. You're just, the delivery mode of your program is different. That's it. So we have, is there a way to calculate the GPA from the last courses? Dr. Gomez?
I would love to say yes, but unfortunately there isn't. Even for us, we don't have a system of doing it. It's actually once you're recommended for admission, the central admissions office does that final review. So really for you, your best way to do that is to kind of estimate from your last credits. However, the SOFA system will give you an estimate once you enter your all of your transcripts and all of your courses and grades. SOFAs will give you an estimate. So that's also kind of a good way to gauge that.
We've got
you.
another question. Are there any other core concentrations such as epidemiology?
Absolutely. We have, and those are, but they're not completely online. So right now we have global health, but, and I let me back up before I tell you, they do have many courses that are offered online. So if if your passion is one of these other ones, I would strongly suggest you to reach out, again, to the program director. We can put you in touch with the program director, but don't just settle for something that doesn't speak to you. Just explore first, talk to the program directors and see, what they have. But we have biostatistics, we have epidemiology, infectious disease, global health, health promotion and disease prevention, and maternal child and environmental health sciences. Did I miss any, Dr. Gomez? We're good. Yeah, so FIU has many. The only one that's at this time that is completely online is the generalist. But like I said, please just let us know, Dr. Gomez or myself, and we'll put you in touch so that you can explore and see what's best for you.
I'm also putting in the contact information for our admissions manager and recruiter, Jose Candelaria. He can also help make some of those connections for you as well with the different program directors. In addition to that, if you do choose the online course, you still have that opportunity to take electives, as Dr. Peterson mentioned earlier, some of the electives that are available. So that is also good option if you're interested in exploring one of the other concentrations a little bit more.
Absolutely. Let me see. Doing a master's degree at a different university. Okay. So this is an FIU policy, not up to us. The FIU policy states that we can accept up to 20% of the degree. Ours is 45 credits. It kind of happens to be nice, 9 credits. We can only accept 9 hours, 3 courses from another university, and there is no guarantee. So for example, I would be reviewing. If you're interested in transferring when you're here, I'll be reviewing. I'll ask you for the syllabi for the 3 courses, and we look at equivalent. Many times it's the electives. We accept the electives. If you had a biostatistics, we just make sure with the department that, the competencies that are addressed in there are addressed in the other course too. So we have to do our homework here, but we can accept up to 9 hours, 3 courses. And there's no exception. That's the university policy. So,
and to get the second half of that, unfortunately, your GPA from a different institution cannot count towards your FIU GPA. FIU GPA is exclusively for FIU courses. Transfer courses are not included in your FIU GPA, and that's also university policy.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. There's another question. The next question: if you are currently employed in the field, do you still have to complete the internship?
Good question.
Yes, very good. So there is an exemption process. This is again, the practicum experience is a requirement of C. For us, what FIU does, what Temple College does, all the MPH program, that if you have 3 years full-time public health experience or more, 3 or more years, you can apply for the exemption, because we still have to demonstrate to see that you have met at least 5 of the foundational competencies through your experience. So we can talk more about that, but there is an exemption process that you can apply for, and we would have to replace those 3 credits for those when it's approved. You still need 45 hours, 45 credits. Again, not us. 45 credits to graduate in the program. And what happens is when people are approved for exemption, then we just replace it with another additional elective. Let me see. Any other? Yep, we have more question. Ooh. Okay, if my GPA is 2.974, does that pretty much the 3.0? We round up there, yes. And what do I need to do if I want to do social work and MPH program at the same time?
We actually have a combined degree.
Yes, that saves you credits.
Yes, I'm looking for the link to that to put it into the chat.
Perfect. Yes, Dr. Gomez is putting, we have a joint degree. You have with the online, and then the health promotion disease prevention has an on-campus. So it works for us for the online. It works really nice because then there's no conflict in the course times. You know, so your social work is an on-campus. It's a face-to-face program, and the MPH for us, it's of course, it's the asynchronous online MPH. So like I said, we do have a joint degree. It goes really well together, and it does save you credits instead of doing them separately. Thank you for putting there.
There's another question I think we may have skipped over. The question is, how is the practicum measured? Is it in hours or in days? Well, there's many questions I'll put together, but how is the practicum measured? Is it in hours or in days? And does FIU have any connections with any health centers, or do we have to look for the practicum ourselves?
I'm going to introduce you. I started and then hand it off to Ms. Perez, so you start getting to know her. But yes, we do have, it's what FIU has, what MPH, the MPH program, no matter what the program, it's 200 hours that you have to do. You can spread it over two semesters. And the online we have our own person, our practicum faculty, and I'll hand it over to her so that she can tell you a little bit more about it. Go ahead.
Sure, thank you, Dr. Pearson. So the practicum experience you're required to complete 200 hours. So this is gonna be, as Dr. Pearson said, within one semester or two. It's up to you. And then when it comes to, and this is a whole process, so I don't want to overwhelm you. We're gonna have info sessions. You can meet with me. There's a lot of intricate details on this process, but in terms of how is it measured, you do need to complete 200 hours. You need to have developed your educational plan, which is your practicum project. So those are the details we can talk maybe later once you join the program. But when it comes to the sites or the organizations, we do have partnerships, but we do not allocate you on the agency. So it's up to you to really think about where do you see yourself in the future, with what type of population, what type of public health context, and then reach out to them and being able to have these connections with these organizations. Once you join, I can definitely help you, give you suggestions where you can look, how can you reach out to these agencies. But we do have some partnerships that, once you join, I can definitely give you the information, and then you do the part of connecting, the part of doing that networking, because it's important that at this point, or when you're ready for practicum, that you think about what type of work do you want to do, where do you see yourself within the field. So I hope that kind of answered the question. But again, there's going to be more information. I have info sessions. I can meet with you. So if you do want to know more about it, definitely looking forward to meet with you.
Yeah, the beauty of the practicum is really, it allows you to explore your interest and set you up for when you graduate. So we have, Ms. Beers, we have a pre-practicum course that's 0 credit. We didn't even add it there to guide you to setting it up, to finding the place. We don't tell you, most of you have different schedules. Most of our students work. So it allows you to find site that is in sync with your interests, and also that works with your schedule. And we're there behind the scenes and in front of the scenes if you need to help you get there. Any other question? Those are great questions.
There's another question, and I think we kind of mentioned it earlier, but maybe we can get into it more. Well, it's a two-sided question or two-part question, but the first part of the question is what diploma is needed for the application? And then also the same person is asking if we can just talk more about the state employee tuition waiver, I guess, Dr. Peterson, would you like to answer about the tuition waiver?
Yes, we don't, more than you probably want to know, it's the way the program was approved by the Board of Governors, it is a self-supported program. So this is the only program in Temple College that doesn't accept the state tuition, waiver or the tuition waiver from FIU. I'm sorry about that, but that's how the program is set up.
All right. Yeah. And to answer your question about the diploma, you do have to have a bachelor's degree or the equivalent of a bachelor's degree if you went to school outside of the United States. So that is what's required is a diploma certifying that you have the equivalent of a bachelor's degree. Now, usually that's done through your WES evaluation. That's usually part of the process when you do complete a WES evaluation. And do keep in mind that because we are working with the SOFA system, we can only accept a WES evaluation. It can't be through a different company. So it does have to go through WES.
And Dr. Gomez, there's a question I think I'm throwing to you. Do you need a master's degree to apply for the MPH PhD program?
Very, very good question. So you don't need a master's degree to apply to the MPH at all. The MPH is indeed a master's degree, so you don't need a master's to apply for the MPH. Now, in terms of the PhD, it's going to depend on the concentration. So you don't need one necessarily. Some programs may have may want you to apply for the MPH first and then get the PhD. So if you are interested in ultimately pursuing a PhD, my recommendation is going to be talk to the graduate program director of that PhD program and find out exactly what it is that they're looking for in their applicants. So more often than not, they don't necessarily want or require a master's degree, but it's always a good idea to speak with that program director first, whether that's a PhD at FIU or at a different university. It's always a good idea to speak with that program first. No problem.
Did we miss any other question? Did we answer all your questions? And again, I think about things in the middle of the night. Literally, you wake up and the question is there. We're really good with emails. We're in an online program, so I'm proud to say that, our faculty really, we do respond. So you can feel free to email me. I can direct you to the right person. Any questions, there's no silly question, no small questions. On our end, we really do want to make sure that this is the right program for you too. As much as we love to have students, there's nothing more disappointing than having somebody who comes into the program and they're disappointed and it's not what they're looking for. So we encourage you before you apply to really ask us any and all question. It is your degree, it is your life, your future. We're just excited that you consider us and hopefully we can be part of it. But if not, at least if we can help you get in the right, point you in the right direction about, what works for you and fulfills your mission, makes you who you are and feel fulfilled. You have our email and you have my email there. Please, any questions? If you don't have any more questions, we are excited that you attended. And thank you very much for joining us. And we wish you a very happy night. And hopefully we get to look at you, meet you, over the phone, over the video in the future. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Be well. We look forward to connecting with you.